The cold blue flashes of ambulance and police lights bathe the scene. Gabriel, strapped to a stretcher, is being rolled up to the ambulance. 2 paramedics are holding the IV up high, keeping pressure on the wounds and checking her vitals. She's still conscious despite the blood loss and the wounds. Covered in blood. Her own and the dog's soaking her shirt and the lining of a leather jacket. Right next to her, the body of the jumper is being loaded into a second ambulance. No medics attend to the small body of the Pakistani girl. The fall must have killed her instantly. Half of her face is still intact. It wears a serene expression, like in deep, dreamless sleep, as the body bag is being zipped up. The SO-15 forensics team on the ledge where she fell will be working through the night. Bright flashes going off as they document the scene. The team has all but forgotten the riots. The sounds of protests drowned from their minds by a stream of questions. Who was the girl? Why did she run? What was she doing there? And what did her last words mean? Why did she jump? No witnesses remain. Only the cold, dead fragments left behind. Bodies, fibers, blood splatter, residue. Still, you remember the end of Isaac Khan's last briefing and feel a slight vertigo, like you were standing on a ledge overlooking a vast sea of unknowable dark. Scientists and policemen. What do they have in common? They both seek truth. This is a good path, but a dangerous one. We see the world as it is, not as we wish it was. That's a luxury for civilians. Each murder and each act of terror we investigate reveal to us how low we humans can fall. We always learn things we would rather not know. The same with science, in a way. As ignorance is removed, we find that the human condition is not unlike that of animals. Predictable, predatory. These insights can rob us of ourselves and make us hateful, unbalanced, undisciplined. Faith in purpose is the one path to avoid it. It is my faith that victory belongs to God. In this job, every night you must ask yourself, what do I believe in? And when the answer is in doubt, this is not cause to revise your belief, but to reaffirm it in the face of this new test, and to come out more convinced of the right path, not less. One of the SO-15 detectives snap you back to the present. Sir? Sir? We got the scene locked down and Sergeant Ellis should be stable enough for transport. What's next, sir?
Good. Well, we were looking for an Ibrahim Amari. Is that one related to this one that actually jumped? Is that who that was?
We have no idea. We still have no identification on the girl.
Ibrahim was supposed to be male, right?
Yes. All the case files indicate that. We don't know. Maybe this is connected. Maybe it's not.
I want you to put out traces for a dog. A big black dog. What happened to the dog?
You see one of the detectives a bit back. He snickers a little bit, but the detective tries to keep a straight face. There's been no trace of a dog, sir. None.
Wipe that smile off your face, you know? Did you see how badly injured she was? She was lucky to get away alive. This is no laughing matter. Come on, what's wrong with you?
Yes, sir. We have not been able to ascertain any traces of the dog. The forensics team is still working, and they hardly been cracking at it for 20 minutes, so results are still out. You call the shots. This is your scene, guys. So just tell me what to do, and I'll have the men do it, sir.
Well, I'll frown a little and remark, well, first of all, I'm going to go and join the forensics team. I feel they could use my insight. After all, I was actually at the scene.
Yes, sir. Very well. He takes out a a radio and radios up to the forensics team, telling them to expect you shortly.
You can see my jaw muscles working. I just nod towards you. There's a lot of frustration hidden behind a cold mask that I've just put on. Be cold in crisis. That is one of my mottos. But I think to myself, what can we do about this now? This Ibrahim was never at the scene. Instead we have this young girl jumping. We're being attacked by a dog. And she says something about us being on the same side. Same side of what? And why did she jump if she thought that was the case?
I frown a little as well as I look to the ambulance, looking after Sergeant Gabriel. I very quickly go over and remark, see that she gets the best care.
I am awake, right?
Yeah, you're still conscious. One of the paramedics is shining a light into your eyes. Everything okay?
I'm very slowly turning my head towards Francis and look at him and said, "We know what we saw, Francis. Don't ever doubt that. We saw the dog, right? There was a dog, right?
Gabriel, maybe a little less worrying about what we saw.
The dog is important, Francis.
She's in a state of
Francis!
shock. Please step back. We need to take her to the hospital ASAP.
Francis, the dog is important."
I'll smile, but I'm not really listening. I am stepping back.
And I see you two talking, and I start coming up. And I feel like there's not much else I can do here. We got the forensics working on this scene. We got the trace out for a dog. I come up to you.
Remember it, the dog. It was there, and we both know it, and don't let anyone tell you any other thing. I saw it, you saw it.
And I grab the side of the door of the ambulance as you get in there, and I just go in, not really asking if there's a place for me as well, and to come along.
One of the medics attaches a bag of mixed morphine to the IV and starts pushing pain medication through the hose straight into your arm, Gabriel. A warm churning feeling goes first up your arm, into your heart, and the great weight and a dark, soft, blanket-like feeling starts enveloping your body as you slowly start to drift away, still conscious but somehow disconnected, and the pain isn't at all bad. They work with swabs and start drying off the blood off your face, and then one of the medics applies scissors to your chest and start cutting up your shirt, removing the leather jacket, exposing terrible circular puncture marks, tears in flesh. It's pretty bad.
I watch from the side as I see this, and I feel so fucking horrible. I feel so frustrated. This is the worst that could happen to me. One of my squad mates, or close ones, getting hurt like this. How did I let this happen? And I stand to the side. I first was trying to hold your hand, but then I wanted to leave the medic's space, and I stand and I hold on to a rail in the ceiling as the ambulance rolls along.
I have my eyes closed, but I smile, a blissful, morphine-induced smile, and I say, "Paul, did you know that you should never mix morphine with alcohol? That could cause you to stop breathing. Did you know that?"
I know. That's good. That's very helpful.
It feels like I am staring out into a square of space. There is space here. I can't feel my body. It's beautiful.
That's good. That's good, Sergeant.
The orange lights from the road outside float across Gabriel's face as the medics are hard at work, closing the most acute bleeding wounds. The wounds are caked with her blood, the dog's blood. There's little scratches in her face. So many little marks. Both the claws of the paws and the teeth have done rending damage. One of the puncture marks seems to reach almost into the breastbone. It's just a matter of minutes before Gabriel's eyes start rolling back into her head and she loses consciousness. The silence of the ambulance is deafening as it rolls towards a hospital in North London.
How is she? Is he stable? Is he critical?
She's stable. She's just, it's good. She shouldn't keep speaking. It's better this way. Her blood loss is contained, but it's gonna take a week or two before she's even walking.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, do you see this puncture mark right here? Almost went into the lung.
Do you make anything of these? It's typical canine?
It's puncture marks, several on them, and the way they're arranged, it looks like it conforms to, the animal mutilation. This isn't human teeth, it's not a weapon either, it looks like a dog got her.
That's how it was. Just can't understand how it disappeared like that. I'm almost more to myself, and I give a sigh and I lean back against the wall of the ambulance.
Meanwhile, back at the site, yes, the body of the girl is being packed up into the other ambulance. One of the drivers, just before he jumps in, looks at you, talking about the forensic team. You coming? You're coming, you're staying?
I'm coming, and I give this man a bit of a look. After all, I am very skilled in this area. I should be here. And so I'm going to go and investigate. I want to find out what I can see specifically. If I can't find some trace of that animal, I'm not pretending there wasn't an animal there, but there has to be a logical explanation for why suddenly it's gone. I also do briefly look towards the ambulance with the girl's body. I might look there later, but that'll be the second thing I do.
The body is being carted away to the morgue, and as the ambulance drives out into the main street, it turns off its flashing light. There's no rush transporting the dead. You go up one staircase, 2 flights more. There's patrol officers guarding the entrance and the exit to the ledge on the 10th floor of the building. The gravel is stained by blood. This was the place where the body impacted on the ledge. About 20 stories up high, there's the roof where you confronted the dog and the girl. There's the flash of camera lights outside on the ledge, and you can see somebody has put up a floodlight. On a plastic tarp, there's a number of items laid out, among them a bright orange backpack that is being carefully opened by a forensics, a girl in her 20s, red hair, but the rest of her face covered with goggles and a face mask. Her hands covered with blue latex gloves as she slowly starts to unzip the bag.
Was that by any chance on the girl?
It was.
I shall go over and carefully observe the situation. I'm not going to interfere, of course. She's doing her job and probably doing it correctly. But I am curious. I do say, what have we got in the bag?
Talking into a digital recorder that is laid out on the plastic tarp, she stretches in and carefully lifts out the first item, placing it inside a Ziploc bag labeled with a serial number. Pink sunglass case containing Hello Kitty sunglasses. Goes into the bag, puts it down. Orange car window breaker. Looks like the ones that are used in public transport. Possibly stolen from a bus. Puts it down. Option number 2. Item 3. Flattened PVC bottles. 3 of them. They're emptied of air. The corks screwed on tight. Medical IV kit. Holds up the white plastic and plastic covered syringe of a professional medical IV kit.
I hold up a hand and say, medical IV kit. Take that in for further analysis. I want to know what was in that IV kit.
Gotcha. We're running cams and bios on this one then.
Yes.
Plastic hose for about 4 feet. Cardboard cutter, standard art supplies variant, blue. Puts in the bag. And what do we have here? The forensics technicians unzips a small little wallet. Inside are 4 baggies, red line baggies, with what looks like some sort of pink powdery substance.
I look a little confused. I probably can't recognize whatever this is off sight. Again, I say, take that in for medical examination. I want to know what that is. This is all strange stuff. It's almost as if medical IVs, powders, hoses, some sort of medical procedure.
Contact lens fluid. Container seems to be unopened. No contacts though.
Odd. Anything else?
No, that's pretty much it. There's a couple of leaflets that she probably just took from the protest. It's one from the Northwood Climate Assembly, and this other one is just for a soup kitchen in a squat. Yeah, looks like somewhere in Camden.
Take that in as evidence. Maybe somewhere she went. We're gonna need to get an ID on this woman. Obviously, we're going to do a autopsy. I'll be responsible for that. We need to find out who this girl was. Good work. You keep it up here. I'm going to go to the roof. I want to get some samples.
The walk up the stairs is strenuous, and you're almost out of breath as you stand on the site of your confrontation with the dog. There's still a couple of forensics technicians here, but most of the efforts are concentrated on the impact site.
I figured as much. I've taken a very deep breath. It's been a very long night, and to be honest with you, all this running around is not my style. This, though, is more my line of work. Don't think it's going to be done quickly, but I'm going to probably spend the rest of the night combing this area with a fine-tooth comb. I want samples. Samples of that creature's blood. It definitely was shot. It will have bled somewhere or left fibers somewhere on this rooftop. It must have.
Your obsession, your appreciation of details keeps carrying you awake all throughout the night. You break out the ultraviolet light, start looking for in the darkness, looking for anything that reflects. Any biological substance should be discoverable easier in the UV light. Whether it's traces of blood or semen or spit or piss, they all refract slightly. Even hair is easier to detect under the black light. From above, it looks like a small spot of iridescent blue that slowly, meticulously, almost in a geometric pattern, starts covering every inch of the roof, the gravel, ventilation shafts, doors into elevator shafts, a small fire ladder leading down to a second ledge. It's a lot of ground to cover, and after a few hours, most of the other forensic technicians have long given up, and you remain there alone with your eyes. Could we have a intelligence plus...
Investigation, probably?
Investigation, yeah.
Right, intelligence plus investigation is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dice.
Mm-hmm. It's not the easiest thing to find on the first search, but yeah, you're giving it plenty of time, so...
3 successes. And 2 of them are 10s.
Oh, there you go. That is a critical, meaning that that's 4 successes right there.
So 5 successes total. I very diligently remain behind. I don't have time for giving up. Not until I get an answer. I will find something. This entire night cannot have been a waste.
Your patience does pay off. You can reconstruct the leap of the dog from the disturbances in the gravel. It hasn't really left much in the way of track marks on the quite large gravel, but you can see the place where it launched and you can see the place where it lands. The distance is about 12 feet. That is an exceptional distance for a dog to jump. It's and at the impact, blood splatter. Yes. 3-4 rocks have caked blood on it. Some of this should be the dog's blood. And even more significantly, small segments of blood splatter leading away down the ladder to a ventilation shaft where in the early dawn light you meticulously remove black hairs of a dog from the opening of the ventilation shaft. The cover has been violently smashed in, and it's in the remains of the metal that you find a little clump of dog hair. Did it jump down the ventilation shaft? It looks too narrow even for a dog a bit further down.
Fascinating. I'm not entirely sure what I make of this for now, but I will bag and carefully make sure I preserve these hairs and the blood, whatever sample I can get. This will be taken to the lab.
Holding the bag up towards the rising sun, you feel a yawn coming on and your body's deeply fatigued. You can't keep this up much longer.
No, I will retire. I make a note to check in, of course, with Gabriel and Paul, but I need to return now. It's been a long night, but I'm glad to see the day at least.
At the hospital, Paul, are you staying with the Gabriel?
As earlier during the night we reached the hospital, I came with her in through the A&E, making sure she got to the operation table in one piece. Not that I didn't think she wouldn't, but I just felt the responsibility of making sure that she ended up where she was supposed to. I also had them look over my wounds and where the dog was able to scratch and bite. And after having that wrapped up, I started making calls to Mr. Khan to see how the situation actually turned out. If there was any trace of Ibrahim actually, and also I would want to find out how everything turned out during the rest of the protests, and if people got hurt, and what the results were of what we did during the day.
The nurses wrapped your arm in bandage and cleaned the wounds with a peroxide. It stings a little bit and that's all. You have a semi-obscured view into the operating theater where Gabriel is under. She's been put under anesthetic and is covered in a green tarp. A surgeon is working at her wounds, closing them, removing something from one wound. The team are working meticulously, carefully, as you place your calls. Isaac picks up immediately, almost as if he was expecting you. Yes.
I don't know how well you've been informed of the situation, but we've got Gabriel on the operation table and we've got Ward working at the site for any evidence.
I heard. I regret that the suspect could not be prevented from taking that unfortunate action.
Well, was she even the suspect? That's the thing. It wasn't even Ibrahim, was it?
I'm on my way to the morgue now. I suggest that you meet me there first thing in the morning.
Fine. This was a young girl, though. Yeah. Well,
I heard.
fine. Right, keep me posted, otherwise I'll see you there.
We have Ian Tomlinson on the body. He has a second body also. One of the protesters was killed during the commotion.
Shit.
It is still unsure whether it was due to injuries that were sustained by the police beatdown that he suffered, but it seems likely. I'm sorry, the protest went a bit out of hand, and the City of London police are not the most subtle in handling these things.
Is that what we have for the day, then? These 2 casualties, and possibly more injured, I suppose.
The injuries are not of much consequence to us. Remember, we are investigating serious extremist crimes here.
Yeah, of course.
See you bright and early tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Have a good night's sleep.
And Paul?
Yeah.
The scene, when things happen, they happen quick. It's a spiraling chaos. The best you can do is act on your instincts and protect your teammates. And take whatever you can from the experience. None of what happened was your fault. She was lost to us long before she jumped. Remember that.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Get some sleep.
And I hang up the phone, and I feel almost a bit patronized by what he said, but at the same time, I'm constantly surprised at how well he always knows my line of thought. He knows that I'm beating myself up, and I'm annoyed that he knows, but we have many things in common, me and Mr. Khan.
The lead surgeon emerges from the operating room.
How is she?
She's unexpectedly well.
Good.
The bite that punctured her lung.
Yeah.
It should be bad. It should be really bad. It must have looked worse than it was, actually.
What do you mean?
A lot of the blood that was on her can't have been her own. And the puncture marks are not quite as deep as they seem, or rather, she has exceptional healing. It's hard to tell. We were told that we had someone that was close to death. All we had to do was close up some wounds.
Well, maybe they made a hasty investigation. There was probably blood from the creature that attacked her as well. Any items of interest that we're able to ascertain or grant from the body?
There's the bone fragment. Maybe from a canine.
Right.
In one of the wounds.
Right, good.
It's labeled, and we'll send it off as usual.
Thank you. And
in fact, might as well take it right now.
Yeah.
And if healing continues apace, you can probably pick her up tomorrow already.
What?
Yes, I know. It's mostly shock. When the drugs wear off and she gets some time to recuperate, she's not that badly hurt.
Are you saying that she will just sleep through the night and then...
We'll see.
I draw a sigh of relief and incredulity. I cannot believe that what he's saying now would be true. Not after what I saw happened, and I saw them working on her even in the ambulance, and back then it looked far worse. I mean, they did say she was stable already, but... Well, I suppose that's a great relief, actually. I take the bag that he has handed over, and I look at the bone fragment.
It's small, like the corner of a chipped tooth, maybe.
Makes sense, I suppose, that it would be small, something come off. Maybe Ward can make something out of this. What time is it now?
It's closer to 2 o'clock at night.
Yeah. Well, I'm guessing that Sword will probably stay up and work the night. I should get back home and wake up with my family tomorrow. I'm supposed to be running with John in the morning.
As you walk out of the hospital, you leave Gabriel behind. Drugged, conscious, eyes fluttering open. The dreams, the dark, deep dreams of rivers, of a mountain edifice, sun splattered, a old ruin, summer high, overwatching a broad river of flowing blood. As your eyes flutter open, there's only one feeling in your entire body, apart from the slight ache from the wounds. And that is thirst. A deep, parching, unabiding thirst. Morning brings an overcast day. The radio from your family's living room, Paul, is all about news about the protests. Police have so far denied to comment on the state of Ian Tomlinson, who was rushed to hospital after an encounter with the police. The latest reports seem that he has expired, possibly due to a medical heart condition, and is currently being examined by the Metropolitan Police Department. Do we have a problem with police brutality? I turn to Commander. The report continues. No word of a dog or a girl. Only Ian Tomlinson.
Just means it's more important.
You must have overslept. It's gotta be like 8 o'clock already.
Oh, shit. They didn't wake me up. I usually don't sleep this well, so maybe they let me sleep because of that. Oh, and I rub the sleep out of my eyes. I go up and I get down to the kitchen. Are they left already for school and work and stuff?
Yeah, who would be home at 8 o'clock about of your family?
Luann, my wife, would be home, I suppose, with the really young ones, unless she was taking them to the doctor today. I wasn't sure if that was today. Could have been. Anna and Louise, they're just 2 years old, twins. Yeah, the rest would be either off to school or university, and Judy would, be in preschool.
Yeah, your wife, Luann, she's in the middle of the kitchen holding one of the young ones, who seems to have a bit of a cold. The kid sneezes, and as your wife hums a lullaby, going back and forth, and looks at you with a bright, broad smile. Morning, love.
Morning. I rub my forehead and I go over to give her a kiss. I take my coffee and my ironed shirt, start getting dressed. Did you sleep well?
Yeah. I had a bit of a trouble falling asleep when you weren't home, and I kept listening to the news.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
If you can you come home for 3:30?
Oh, let's see. I will try to make it. What's happening today? And I look at the calendar as well.
Yeah, you need to pick up the kids for training.
Yeah.
I think it's your turn,
Yeah.
and I'm doing the grocery shopping at the same time, Marilla is coming by with the van, so I thought we would do all the grocery shopping at once.
Nice.
And our teens can help carry. Yeah, Brian's strong and can take all the stuff. So yeah, we need to restock on a lot now.
Yeah, of course. I think John and Philip probably ends late anyway, so yeah, I'll do that. I'll pick up Sienna and Judy and get the other ones sorted as well. Yeah, of course. That's good. That's great. I'm glad to hear that you still got time to meet up and things. I think to myself, well, I'm not going to blame her for not waking me up. I suppose that was a favour in its own. I have to run now, though, and I'm going to try to make the day short, but we have to examine... Well, yeah.
Shh. She puts a finger on your lips and looks you in the eye. Okay.
I smile. Yes. Yes.
Okay. I don't need to know anything, okay?
No, I know. And I kiss the foreheads of Anna that she's holding, and then I look over to Louise, who seems to be sleeping in the baby chair over by the TV. I nod and I button up the rest of my shirt, and I take my coat and I'm off.
As you walk out through the hallway and out the driveway, you hear a barking. A dog barking. A couple of houses away. There's a cold... Something runs down your neck.
And I tense up a bit and I listen. Is it just... Whose dog is that?
None of the neighbors' dogs bark like that.
I feel like I need to see what this is. Where is it? I move down out of the walkway and down and look down the street.
You walk around the car. We're just about to get in. Start walking down the street. The suburban brownstones and refurbished villas. The little pool that the next door neighbor has been working on for 2 summers. Still a work in progress. The tiles piled high in this eternal hobby project. And the yard of the 4th house. There's usually a small dog chained there, but the neighbor must have taken it in. And there, in the bushes, in the direction of the barks, you just briefly think you glimpse something dark. Flash of an eye. Or was that just your imagination?
I take a breath to steel myself. Couldn't be. It couldn't have followed me. I'm not thinking clearly. This is... But then again, I have that gut feeling, and I know, having worked with the police, that you should mind that feeling. And don't leave any stones unturned, especially when things turned out as they did yesterday. There's too many question marks. And I call out, as if for a dog. Hey boy, are you in there? And I'm kneeling down, hoping that maybe a neighbor's dog, if it has torn itself, would make an appearance.
Yeah, you kneel down and look under the hawthorn bushes. The neighbors have a wild backyard, not properly pruned. Is there something in there? It's hard to see. It's the shadows, dark, damp. Maybe something moving in there. Nothing that you can see.
Do I hear anything?
Can I have a wits plus animal chem, if you have it, or insight?
No, I'm better with awareness. Can I do that?
You can. Go for that. So wits plus awareness.
So, I've got 4 successes then, 7 and 8.
Yeah, you listen carefully. And yeah, there it is. The quick breathing of a dog just on the other side of the house. Must have moved around.
Yeah, and I increase my pace, and I'm walking around. I'm gonna follow it now. I just have to see what it is.
Follow it around, come out on the other side, and there's your neighbor with his dog. The dog is peeing. It looks up at you coming from the inside of his yard, Paul, good morning.
Morning, Brian. You alright?
Yeah, what you doing in the bushes?
No, I just thought I saw something. Did you hear that other dog barking?
What other dog?
No, there was, I just thought I heard, was a strange bark.
Yeah, I know. She makes a lot of sound for being that small.
Yeah, she does. Sorry, I must have, I thought it was something else. I thought it was something else. Yeah, you okay? You, home today? Working from home?
Yeah. He bends down and picks up the dog poo with a plastic bag, and takes up the little terrier. Looks a bit worried at you. Can I get you something?
No. I'm gonna
maybe?
go to work. It was just just a little thing that I thought I saw. But yeah, might wanna have a look at those bushes out front. They're kind of growing into a bit of the pavement.
Yeah, I know. I wish I'd gotten that done last year, but you know how it is with hobby projects.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with Anne's up. Yeah,
Absolutely, yes. Well, I'll see you later. All right? Yep. Have a nice one.
have a good one. He opens the iron gate for his little yard, lets you out into the road.
And I just sigh.
Leanne is standing on the stairway on the way out, holding the kid, shaking it back and forth, looking at you, a bit concerned. She smiles and goes back inside, closes the door.
I smile and I wave at her. I love her so much, but yeah, there are some things that she will never understand. It's fine. I head off to my city jeep and I start to get away, to get over to the examination. I mean, I must be running a bit late. Shit.
From the kitchen window, Luann is watching through the drapes. She shakes her head and takes a deep breath. Shakes a bottle of pills. She closes the curtains. There's already full activity at the morgue and crime lab. The facility is located under the communications control center where you first did your interviews. It's in the northeastern parts of London, just a block from the Thames. The building itself is unassuming, built in maybe somewhere in the 60s, 70s, all concrete, steel, and open but two small windows on all of the 4 stories. The place looks like a mix between a ordinary office and some bunker from Stalinist DDR or something. Inside it's all painted in a slightly off-color green that's slightly nausea-inducing. The underground corridor that runs to the morgue is busy today. Outside the steel doors for the morgues, 2 assistants are preparing a steel table with surgical equipment. Someone is loading out black bags from the morgue, filled probably with waste products. The door is ajar into the morgue itself.
I didn't get much sleep during the night. I'm a bit tired, to be honest. Still, I suppose it's another day of work. Still, I have cornered at least someone just to ask about the status of Sergeant Ellis. I am, of course, hoping she's still stable and in hospital.
As the answer you're getting is both comforting and a bit confusing. Yeah, she checked out this morning. She should be coming into work. Yeah, she said she was feeling quite fine.
Excuse me?
Yeah, we talked to your superior, Mr. Khan. It seems she's heading down with him right now to the autopsy room.
I look very confused. I saw those wounds myself. She was in grave danger. You do not recover from that overnight. Did I make a mistake?
You must have. Because there she is, Khan and her, walking down the corridor. Sure, she's limping, doesn't look in great shape, but she's walking.
I go over to greet them. Normally I'm rather stoic at these sort of things, but in this case I go up to Sergeant Ellis. Sergeant Ellis? How are you? Are you sure you should be walking around?
Yeah, I'm fine. Wasn't as bad as we thought, I think. It looked worse than it was. I'm fine. Truly. What have you found? Like, let's solve this. Don't worry about me.
Yes, she's got a remarkable constitution, Khan remarks. She's good. Just keep an eye on her. So, what do we have?
How is the thirst? Is it still there? Is it...
You're feeling you have a weird, scratchy, uncomfortable feeling in you.
Must be the morphine, maybe.
Yeah, it must be that. Yeah, it's you're getting withdrawals already. Yeah, must have been one hell of a shot of morphine. It's that telltale, sweaty, uncomfortable feeling when you can't really settle in your body after the first Monday after a binge. Everything is slightly clammy and clothes feel like they're sitting wrong on your body. But the wounds more burn than hurt. It feels like you have a raised temperature, surely having a fever, but you can walk and you're not about to take sick leave.
No. That's not how we do this. So, what do we have?
I do look a bit skeptically at Sergeant Ellis. My eyes...
I'm fine, Francis.
Well, all right, Ellis. Just saying. All right. Fine. I suppose she is fine, I think to myself. I will move with the rest of the party. Yes, well, what do we have?
2 steel tables have been pulled out, and on one of them the body bag now opened, containing the body of the young Pakistani girl. On the other is an autopsy half in progress. A older middle-aged man, grey hair, deep creases in a handsome face, unscarred except for the line that shows that his breastbone has been opened with a saw and sealed again. This must be Ian Tomlinson. Fred Johnson, one of the assistant medical examiners, is hard at work sealing up Ian Tomlinson after his investigation. Johnson has a bit of reputation in the Corps. Who of you would know the most dirt about your colleagues?
Probably me.
You probably heard something. He was involved in the Chelsea Ripper case a couple of years back. The Chelsea Ripper case was a bit special because the first victim was misidentified as an accidental death. And that misidentification set back the investigation weeks and allowed for 2 more women to be killed. The person in charge of that first disastrous autopsy, as well as the following ones, who were slow, sloppy, and not very becoming to a professional standard, that was Dr. Johnson.
I think I might have given him a shout out, like I ripped his head off sometime.
Yeah, you have probably chewed him out sometime.
I think I called him an idiot.
Well, the word in the Corps is that he is a useful idiot. The word says give him enough media attention or slip him an envelope and he will conveniently forget or misidentify information about autopsies.
He's a weasel. So I think I tense up very visibly. If you know me, you know this is uncomfortable. I don't like him at all.
Oh, hello, good morning.
Dr. Johnson.
Yeah. What are you doing down here? I thought you were still working in the city.
Working a case.
Sergeant Alice, is it still, right?
Yes. Just show me what you got.
So, yeah, Mr. Tomlinson here is, I got that one covered. That one is not on your table. But on the other table, here, we have something interesting. I've been ordered to leave this one in your care, Francis.
Good, I say as I give him the look over. I was going to be wanting a second opinion on the matter. No offense.
Oh, none taken. Dr. Ward. The deceased seems to be in her maybe 15 or 16, of northern Indian descent, possibly Pakistani. He looks at Isaac Khan, who hails from the same region. His face doesn't betray any reaction, as his eyes are locked at the face of the girl lying in the open body bag. He just silently walks around the table and looks down at her face, completely silent.
I walk forward and remark, well, who is she? What records do we have? Have you run DNA tests? Have you put her face through the national database? Have we been trying to find out who on earth this girl was? And I'll start looking over any papers or reports that might be nearby.
As this happens, I enter the room. I do it quietly. I just come in and I join the crowd. I look them over. I see that, well, Ward looks like shit again. Or did you make an effort to sort of freshen up?
No.
He does truly look like shit.
Yeah, and Gabriel.
I meet your eye and I just nods and mouth, I'm fine. We'll talk later kind of vibe.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to interfere with the briefing or the examination, so I just give you a nod, though you can see in my eyes, of course, that there is concern or that I'm looking you over a bit. Then I'm just standing by the crowd, getting ready to hear what happened, as I have a short look and see that she was this young, 15 or 16, that stabs me a little bit to the heart, but I show no reaction.
Indeed, it's worth noting that while I am certainly used to death and the bodies of the dead, even I am not pitiless. A death that young is always a waste. Always a tragedy in some way. I think to myself.
The paperwork is scant. All her belongings and the evidence is written up to be in one of the evidence rooms 3 floors above. She's just had the basic examination, which must have been done by Dr. Johnson. Just clumsily concludes that she died from simultaneous head trauma and some sort of severe rupture of the intestines as she fell. She has not yet been opened, she's not yet been searched, there's been no DNA tests run. Most of the paperwork is blank.
I let out a very annoyed huff and look at this man. Well, clearly your reputation precedes you. I see you've done absolutely nothing.
You can thank me later, in whatever way you seem appropriate, you know. It's all yours. It's a clean slate. Let's leave it at that, okay?
Oh, I let out a tired sigh. Yes. Okay. Go on. Please, go on.
Yeah, but be happy you weren't one of the riot cops. You know, I found fluid in Ian Tomlinson's lungs, you know. It looks bad.
What happened?
He was beaten up. He had a heart condition. Probably something bad. His lungs were filled with fluid. Something ruptured. Those guys from city police went on him hard. From what I hear, the witnesses have said that they struck him while he was down. This is gonna be a shitstorm.
Yeah, I can see that, Dr. Johnson. But that is not why we are here. We are here because of her. I have a painful look on my face. I need to focus on what we need to do, and everything else just reminds me of how shitty I feel. Let's get back to her. What do we know? What can we say about her?
Isaac looks straight into Dr. Johnson's eyes. Mr. Johnson shrinks away. I have some paperwork to pick up. I'll see you later this afternoon, okay? You have the room. He signs out as responsible for the autopsy room and gives the form over to Dr. Ward. Yes, sign here.
I begin signing, and at this point Oso remark, "Look, make yourself useful and bring us the lab data from the evidence."
And coffee, please.
And coffee.
I look over the body. Anything evident that I see that stands out? I suppose she's smashed to bits.
Half her face is gone. The shoulder that she landed on is cracked. There are multiple fractures in the arm. Kneecap almost gone. That must have impacted hard. But there's less physical damage than you would expect from a fall that high. None of the massive tissue damage that you would expect in the form of rupturings or bones coming out or anything like that. She's landed hard, and she's clearly dead. But she should have been smashed up a bit worse from your surface inspection.
Well, did we find anything on this site? Did you stay behind to have a look at it, Ward?
Indeed. I didn't really discover too much. We've taken in all her belongings as evidence. Naturally, I'm waiting for those reports. Interestingly enough, she seemed to have a lot of strange medical equipment on her person. An IV, some strange substance we haven't identified yet, a hose. Oh, so? I look at Mr. Khan. I did find a little bit of a trace of her canine companion. I'm not entirely sure how relevant it is, but I have managed to get a blood sample and some hairs. See what we can find from those.
That's really good, Francis.
I nod and I take out of my pocket a little sealed bag with a bone fragment in. And then there's this too, and I hand that over to you, Ward.
I'll gently get my gloves ready and carefully inspect this thing as he hands it to me.
I look at Paul. Paul, are you alright?
Yeah, we found this in you yesterday. Or the doctors did, rather.
Yeah, that was not what I meant. Are you alright? It was quite a day yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm not the one who got bitten, and I'm not the one who stayed up all night examining the scene.
Yeah, you both look horrible, by the way.
Thank you. You look wonderful yourself.
Thank you. I feel wonderful. Where's that coffee?
Yes, actually, I could use a coffee.
I smile a little as she lightens up the mood a bit with those comments. And then I look down to the body again. Is this normal? I mean, she fell 20 floors. Looks like she didn't take that much of a beating.
It's hard to determine the actual extent of the damage without opening her up and doing the full autopsy work. These things can look widely varied. Impact damage is it's notoriously hard to determine what's going to happen when you drop a body, so it needs more careful examination.
It certainly will. I suppose, though, and again I'll look to Mr. Khan, another question that needs answering, sir, is how has any of this even happened? How did our information on our suspect completely mix up with this individual? Unless, of course, you're saying that this actually is the person we were looking for, and all our information on them was completely wrong, sir.
We made the call, though. We called, right? And we saw that this was the person talking. Or am I completely making this up?
This was the person talking. You do remember that, and you do remember the strained voice. So there was a girl trying to sound like a grown man.
Was that what it was?
Yeah, it must have been there. Khan hasn't really moved. Apart from staring down Johnson, he has kept his eyes on the girl's face through the entire time. He gently runs his fingers through her hair. Don't bother with identification, just tell me why.
Sir? I look at Khan and like, why shouldn't we bother with identification? Tell you why what?
He takes 4 long strides, opens the door, and you think you can see a shiver, like his shoulders are shaking as he opens the door, slams the door, and you can hear him almost running away down the corridor.
I didn't see that coming.
I admit I'm a little confused. I just looked at the pair of you like, what's going on?
Did you know he had family?
No. Nothing. Did you think he knows her?
Yes. Of course he does.
Fuck.
The stories are there. There's stories about a tragedy in his family, him being isolated from his family, possibly a disappearance. He's a really, really heavy divorce 3-4 years back. He's lost contact with most of his family. Some say they moved back to Pakistan. It's hard to tell.
Well, I say, despite whatever we might have heard about his family, he wouldn't be reacting like this out of sympathy for someone. This must have been someone close. I don't know if it was a target somehow. I don't know why we were sent after this in the first place. Well, I guess this is where your work starts.
You say that, but I've just been told that we don't need to worry about identification.
Well, I don't care about identification anymore. If he knows who it is, then that's fine, but we need to open this one up.
We still don't know who she is, right?
No, we don't.
Even if he does. Yeah.
Yes, but he will let us know that. Let's focus on another step then. He will let us know.
Alright, I'll conduct an autopsy, but I don't quite see what I'm supposed to be looking for. I know how she died. She jumped off a building.
Well, there's something strange about this, don't you agree? It looks weird. She needs... Well, I suppose you don't have to do it yourself then, if you'd rather leave it over to...
No. Fine, just give me some space. You go and investigate the other things and evidence I got you to. I'll get ready. Yes,
yeah.
Fine.
And I leave him there, and I'm not gonna run after Khan. I'm sure he'll need the space as well.
Yeah, I'm coming with you as well.
Yeah, and I nod to you. Let's get an idea of what she was carrying then.
Paul, is it just me, or like yesterday, before everything bad happened, like, did you get a feeling of her and the dog kind of communicating in a way?
I stop in the corridor and I turn around and I look at you. Yes, I did.
Something is really odd here.
I never had a dog myself, but I know that people develop psychological bonds with animals, but I don't know.
This was not that.
This might sound incredibly strange, but I somehow got the feeling that the dog was the master.
Me too.
You too?
Yeah.
And I look at you and I look at your eyes. How does she look now?
I'm serious. Gabriel is a practical person. She doesn't like this kind of shit going on. She wants to know, she wants to get it down so things can be realistic and boxed in like certain, so you know what's what. She doesn't like the uncertain. And that also makes her more like focused. And let's get in and get this unclear things clear.
So you've sort of got your back to work usual face going on.
Yes.
Just after all this.
Yes.
And I shake my head a bit, just seeing that. I'm glad you recovered so quickly, and I start walking again.
Paul, we need to take Mr. Khan and interrogate him. You understand that, right?
Yes. Of course, we need to talk to him.
You come out of the sub-basement of the building to see Khan's Volvo starting up in a driveway and driving away. You see Anna is standing with a armload of paperwork, looking a bit lost. Do you know what's going on with Mr. Khan?
No, we really need to talk to him, Anna.
He just left. He left and he shut me up.
Fuck. I take up my...
I have all this paperwork.
Anna.
It's like...
It's okay. I need to phone him now. I take my phone up and dial his number.
I just put a hand on your arm. Look, you know how professional Khan is. Give him some space. Just give him half an hour or something. If I've never seen him like this. I know his professionalism could well be exceeding both yours and mine. If he is like this, then just give him a little bit of space. Okay.
I look up briefly into the sky and like take a deep breath, and then I look at you and say, Paul, if this was anyone else, would you have given them half an hour when it's clear that he knows who this girl is? Would you? This is not about Khan, this is about the case.
Well, he would have given me that space, I think to myself. And I throw up my arm and I let you do whatever you need to. I stand there and I cross my arms and I look at you.
Don't give me that look. I know that look. You disapprove, but believe me, this is what we need. He knows something. We need him. And giving him space now, well, that would be unprofessional, wouldn't it? It would be humane, yes, but unprofessional. And we are professionals, Paul.
It's more than that. It's not just by the book. He's gonna be working with us together on this anyways. You do what you need to, but yeah. And I just think to myself that, well, she hasn't seen the things that probably both me and Isaac have. And I turn away at first, and then I turn back. Look, there's still the things to look at. What's the evidence from the girl?
Yeah, we should really look into that. And I start typing and getting Khan's number. I start phoning him.
Yeah, you bring up Khan's mom number in the phone.
Yes.
The first signal goes through, the second one, a third. Normally you would give up at this point. Khan either answers instantly or not, but at the fourth call there's somebody picks up, but there's silence.
Mr. Khan? This is Gabriel. Mr. Khan?
I look at her wonderingly.
Look.
Her name...
What?
Her name...
Yes.
Javoera Dugna.
Okay, that's great, sir, but you realize that we need to talk to you about her. That we need to talk to you now. And you leaving doesn't look very good.
I need to be with my family.
I understand that, sir. But you also must see it from my point of view. You obviously know her.
Her mother's name was Dunia.
How... Sir.
Father's name is Khan.
Sir, where are you?
He hangs up.
What? What did he say?
He says that her father's name was Khan.
Yeah.
It's his daughter, probably. Or niece.
Anna Kitwara, her eyes go wide. No. Oh. How much do you know?
Nothing.
How much do you know? Oh, I was with him when they disappeared.
You see my jaw working again, but I just look at her expectantly.
This was 2 years ago now, and you know Khan, you know his focus, you know his drive, but do you know where that drive comes from?
He's a veteran, isn't he?
Yes. He has seen both war and he's seen some of the hardest investigations. But the thing that has driven him over the last 2 years is the disappearance of his daughter and his son. His daughter were in her early teens. His son, Pamid, was in his 20s. He always say that he lost them to idiocy, that he lost them to superstition. He is personally motivated. It was in his mind, his children were already dead.
Superstition? Was it religious reasons then?
Word is that he has several times suspected that they have been involved in extremist groups, that they have still been in Great Britain. He has not conducted investigations to try to find them.
Shit.
But he might have covered up details of investigations before. This is his weak spot. This is his family.
Anna, we need to take him in.
I know, but how?
We will go and get him. He will understand, right?
He will understand? I am not your boss, but he is.
Yes.
And I would give him whatever time he needs. She just throws up her arms. You can see her eyes are wet.
This is hard. I know. This is hard for everyone, and I understand it's hard for Mr. Khan, but this is serious. This is serious business, and we didn't know this, Anna. It also complicates things, but we need to talk to him about this, about covering up, because now it's connected with what we just experienced.
I know. But what did you experience? Can I get you coffee, by the way? You look like shit. If I'm maybe so frank as to say so.
Yeah, coffee would be good. And we need to start looking at the personal belongings of the girl that we found in the place. See what kind of clues we have there. I don't see how it will help further. Did you get a name?
Yes.
Your name was Javeria Dunya.
I start to feel irritating. I'm like, why can't they see? Why are they so eager to just let this go when we have what we need? We need to talk to this man that knows her and knows things about her disappearance. And I'm starting to feel angry as fuck. And this itching in my body doesn't help. And this pain and...
Shit. Yeah, Paul, you can see her. Her hands are shaking. Visibly.
Get it together. Gabriel, what's wrong?
I got it together. I just... Why? We need to go and talk to Mr. Khan. Right now, I don't care about her belongings. I care about talking to him.
Well, why would you care about talking to him? He's lost his child, alright? And he lost her long ago to another conflict, and he doesn't know what she's been involved in up until now. How is this going to help?
But Jesus, Paul, you just... Didn't you hear what Anna said? That he covered up things about his child and her...
Don't fucking talk about this out here in the corridor, okay?
Oh my...
This is not... It's not like this is confirmed or anything. It's like, fuck, he can have my head for even saying that.
We've got speculations, okay? It's not going to help.
Okay, can you be professional for 1 second and think of if this was someone that we didn't know and like, would we be having this discussion, Paul?
We are not in a case where someone's life is currently in danger, alright? This happened now. We don't have any second steps that we're looking at. This person is now deceased. This person that was the suspect is deceased. There is... there are small steps we can start taking by seeing what was actually meant this person actually planned to do.
God damn it. Fine. You will get 1 hour and then I will go after Mr. Khan.
Kituara looks at you. If it's any help, I can bring you whatever files we have.
Thank you, Anna. And coffee would be very appreciated. I feel like shit. Is there any chairs in the corridor? I thought we were outside.
Yeah, you're right by the exit. You can see the driveway outside.
I sit down in one of the chairs and just like, this is bad.
There's a woman in her 60s sitting straight across from you. Yeah, she's looking at you with sympathy. I know it's hard. Everyone here has trouble. Whatever it is you're bringing to the police, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine, love.
Okay, Anna, bring the files and the coffee. And Paul, you get 1 hour. That is all I can give you, okay? So get to fucking work.
I don't say anything. I just think she's a mess right now. And I can't blame her, really, considering what just happened. I want to see the reports of what was found on the site. I'm more interested in seeing what would potentially have been planned by her to do, what the belongings to her indicated that she was about to do, and why. So, is there a report of sort of the crime scene investigation?
All of that should be up in the evidence room, where her belongings are laid out, together with a report. It's a short ride, 2 stories up in the elevator. And there in the room, laid out, numbered, are the plastic bags with all the objects that have been removed from her backpack.
I look them over.
Gabriel, are you there
Yes.
with Paul? Yeah, you will start looking over the bags. There's the Hello Kitty sunglasses, the orange car window breaker, the flattened PVC bottles, medical IV kit, the plastic hose, the cardboard cutter, the 4 baggies of pink powder, the contact lens fluid, the flyers. And in addition to that, a small container containing a couple of hairs, black hairs. They are registered as having been found by Dr. Ward at the crime scene.
I look at the report. Is the powder being analyzed?
The powder is being analyzed, and but that's it. None of the other things are in for analysis. Yeah, the IV is in for analysis as well.
I turn that page and I put on a pair of plastic gloves and I open the bag with the plastic bottles. I open one of them and I smell it.
Yeah, they smell slightly of peroxide. They have been washed, like thoroughly washed inside, but they are empty.
As if something was cleaned out of them.
Something has been cleaned out of them with peroxide, or prepared them for something, disinfecting them.
And then there's a hose. Contact lens fluid. Is there any other usage I could think of besides of cleaning eyes? Maybe cleaning something else?
It should be saline fluid. Should be all it is. Yeah, it's just saline water. It's still closed. It hasn't been cracked open. The bottle.
Does she have contact lenses?
No, she doesn't.
Then it's only the sunglasses too. What was she up to? And a hose. It's as if she was going to transfer something either into the bottles, well, most likely into the bottles. Unless you had any reason to clean out some plastic bottles to rid them of some possible evidence, some sort of substance perhaps. I say this out loud as I think of it.
I start pacing the room, super restless. Like, it feels like I'm gonna crawl out of my own skin.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, shit, you're thirsty. There's this there's this sweet smell in the air as well. And that smells wonderfully like freshly baked bread, or, the first whiff of a marvelous wine just when you open it. It waters in your mouth. You feel saliva in your mouth. It's ever slight smell from something.
And I drink a little of the coffee.
Oh god, coffee, yes. Fuck. Oh, morphine withdrawal is the worst. I think they gave me too much yesterday. I'm feeling like shit right now.
Oh yeah, sipping the coffee helps a little. But your eyes land on the bottle of contact lens fluid. That's what smells so nice.
I go there and crack it open.
Crack it open, and you can see the plastic that should go around the neck has been removed, and the cork has been screwed on, but unbroken. You break the seal.
Yeah, and I put it out on my finger to see what it is, like the fluid inside. I squeeze a bit out on my finger.
As this warm, pleasant feeling running all through your body as you squeeze out a single drop of dark red blood.
I immediately put it in my mouth. I don't even think about it.
I look at her and a bit confused. What is it?
What?
What is it?
What?
She's standing there like a deer in the headlights, finger in her mouth, a slight smear on blood of her lips. The contact lens fluid bottle open, with its little drop of blood running down the white plastic. And you can see Gabriel's eyes go wide and dark.
You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we play the chronicle No Man is an Island for Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition. Our storyteller was Martin Eriksson, and we were also joined by Anna-Karin Linder. The music was created by Lola Zaza for the game Vampire Prelude, We Eat Blood and All Our Friends Are Dead, and was used with permission from White Wolf. The sound effects are from the fine folks at freesound.org. Finally, a big thank you to our patrons. This podcast would not be possible without your generous support on Patreon. You give us so much energy, help us cover our costs, and open up time to record and edit. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you. And remember, death is not the end.